helping veteran families, taking part in the electoral process. Sheriff's Department claims that his office is being sabotaged by county commissioners and consultants are eating our lunch. It is Friday, September 23rd, 7:17 a.m. This is Good Morning Brownsville, and my name is Frankie Olivo. Now, I do find myself away from the studio, reporting live from the beautiful city of Houston, Texas. But as my grandfather always says, the circus does not stop for a few monkeys. So I will ask for your patience since I am away from the studio. I hope the lighting, the audio is just right. I'm very particular with my production, so I do want to apologize beforehand if anything is a little bit off today. But I am away from the studio, and once again, thank you so much for your patience with me. Now, with the recent incidents that we've been having with PUB, many individuals from all walks of life have been asking, what can we do to fix this issue? Many individuals who before haven't really taken part in the electoral process are now trying to find ways to have a say so in bringing about change. And it is circumstances such as these in which we should motivate other people to go out and vote. It is very disappointing that the city of Brownsville, according to the numbers, on paper, we are about 185,000 in population. Whenever we have local elections, and even at the county level here in our area, we have a small percentage of voter turnout. It is unfortunate that in some elections, less than 10% uh, come out to vote. And you and I can agree. You and I can agree. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Mr. Perez. You and I can agree that individuals not coming out to vote and not taking part of the electoral process, it does affect a lot of these races. And one thing that we have always stated is that we have a lot of power with our vote. Uh, Whether at BISD, the teachers, if they really united, they could really make a change and bring positive impact because BISD is one of the largest employers in the city of Brownsville, followed by PUB. Now, if we unite, come together, and vet these clients, uh, morning Alberto, and really wanted to bring about change, we could through through our vote, and that is something that we wish more individuals. And hey, good morning to all the beautiful people in Port Isabel, my man. Hope you have a great Friday. Morning, Raymond. How's it going? We need to hang out. You and I can agree. We all need to come together. What PUB has shown us has been that we need to bring about change. We have been very vocal and adamant about our elected officials not being ballsy enough. I like my candidates, my elected officials to question, to be the champion of the community, of the people. That is what I want. I don't want a candidate that is more focused. Unos por Texas y otros por África. Hope to see you soon and safe travels. Uh, One thing that this has shown us is that people are starting to ask, what can we do? And the interesting about this PUB incident, ladies and gentlemen, is that people are coming out of the woodworks and they're saying, what can we do? And individuals have even come up to me and previous business owners. And when I ran for BISD, I had many individuals that would say, you know, I support you. I just can't go on the record because I'm a business owner, I'm a doctor. Um, it wouldn't be best to align with a candidate. And I said, you know what? I totally understand, but thank you for your confidence. Thank you for your vote. But nonetheless, now what PUB has brought upon has been that individuals are saying, okay, who do we need to talk to, and what do we need to do? Because something's got to give. And there's a saying that goes, do not do not mess with my family, and do not mess with my money. Once we start feeling it in the pocketbooks, now individuals will be more enthusiastic about coming out to vote. We are less than 45 days away from elections, and it is important for us to encourage friends and family to take part in the electoral process. It is one of the most sacred rights that we have here living in a democratic society. You know, if we lived in North Korea, if we lived in even China and Japan, you know, that is China and Japan is a mass democracy, but we all know it is really a dictatorship, so to speak. But living here in the United States, we have the blessings and we have the fortune to be able to vote, to be able to have individuals that we believe in to represent us. Now, if we do not take part in that process, then we are failing. We are failing our veterans, those individuals that make the ultimate sacrifice. Good morning, Carlos. How's it going? Place one for BISD. This is the man that you need to vote for, Carlos Elizondo. But whenever we do not take part in the electoral process, we are bringing shame to those individuals that made the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives fighting for the belief in the United States that we are land of the free, home of the brave, where we're able to vote. So by not going out and taking part of the electoral process, we are shaming our veterans, those individuals who lost their lives and made the ultimate sacrifice. I encourage my friends and family to take part in the electoral process because it is very important for us. With our low voter turnout, it is a shame that many individuals here in Brownsville and in Cameron County aren't a part of this process. And again, we do need to register to vote. We do need to make sure that we encourage those individuals who are not aware of the process of voting. Now, again, we are October 11th. If you are not registered to vote, I will post a link shortly after this feed to make sure individuals could check for they and their families to see if they are registered to vote. If you are not, you could register. Uh, if you're not good with technology, you know, we can personally, I can take you an application that I will retrieve from the Cameron County uh, uh, Elections Department. That way, we can make sure that come election day, you and your family are able to vote. Early voting starts October 24th. Um, so we are 45, 40 days away uh, from from this initiative. So again, it is very important for us to take part in the electoral process to be able to bring about change. And again, vote or die was a saying a long time ago when voting campaigns were going throughout the media in the early 90s and 2000s. Now, something very important that my friend would always tell me is, did you vote? Yes. Okay. Well, then, you know, you have a right to complain. But what about those individuals that say, "Oh, hey, man, PUB, uh, it's a second mortgage. I can't make this payment." Well, you need to make sure you go out to vote. You need to make sure that your household, and that's what we need to focus on, our friends and family. You know, can we count on 10 people for us to register to vote? Can we count on 10 people for us to make sure that come early voting, come election day, we will assist them and encourage them and remind them, hey, if you haven't gone out to vote, I'll give you a ride. Come on. You buy the coffee, I'll give you a ride. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'll surely have a glass of water. So we are 40 some days away from early voting. I will be posting the link so you can share it with your friends and family, and so you can look up to see if you are ready and registered to vote. The last day is October 11th, so we are 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from that. And again, it is very, very important for us to be part of the electoral process because if not, we will not have individuals that will be fighting for us, that will be the champions for us on any respective seat, whether that be BISD, Carlos Elizondo, Cameron County, Erasmo Castro, and for Congress, Mayra Flores. Make sure you remember those three names on election day. Now, speaking about veterans, we hold veterans in the most highest regards. And here at Good Morning Brownsville, we had taken upon ourselves to make sure that we are very active in presenting any information that would benefit our veterans. It is sad to report that we have friends and family who come back from the war, and it's unfortunate that here locally in the city of Harlingen, where our veterans clinic is housed, it at one point out of 5 stars was at a 1 and 2. You and I can agree that we have heard stories, numerous stories from individuals that said, you know what, I do not get the adequate attention, the adequate care that the VA clinic provides. And here at Good Morning Brownsville, we will be the veterans champion. We will try as much as possible to bring attention, bring awareness to events, and we have individuals in our community that focus solely on our veterans, as we should. We expect these individuals to risk their lives, and then whenever they come home, they do not have the proper resources, the proper care, the proper attention that they so desperately need. One thing that I was not aware of is that here locally, in Cameron County, in the city of Brownsville, the veterans do not have a local cemetery. I was a little bit shocked, and it's kind of like the veterans memorial in Arlington, where that is a prestigious um, location to be buried, of course. But here locally, our veterans, whenever they are put to rest, the local cemetery, the closest one, or the only one, is in the city of Mission. Now, um, it is very important for us to recognize how, whenever we do have a special date, whether that be a birthday, an anniversary, or whenever families are just grieving and want to be close to the the laying grounds of our community, uh, they always go out to Buena Vista Funeral Home, Trevino Funeral Home, Del Ángel Funeral Home. Why? Because it gives them comfort. And again, they want to share a special moment with their loved ones who are no longer here. And to uh, I was a little bit shocked to hear that the local veteran cemetery is located all the way in Mission, Texas. I am here to state that Congresswoman Mayra Flores has requested that the city of Brownsville that they have their own cemetery. And nowadays with the recent rise in gas prices, inflation is through the roof. Many individuals, many families, mainly those who live on a fixed income, they don't have the luxury of going out as often because, again, I personally know a few families that they like to go to the cemetery, twice a month, once a month. They like to clean it. They like to take them, put some pictures on there. They like to play some music. I've even seen my friends cook out. They want to share moments with their loved ones, even if it's at their burial site. And this is something great that we can have here in the city of Brownsville. And Mayra Flores is petitioning for the veterans to have a cemetery. It is more like an application. You have to request this, but this would be something very good for our veterans and their families because, again, whenever we grieve, we want to be with our loved ones. At least we understand that they are no longer here with us. But anything that we can associate ourselves with, whether that be their tomb, their headstone, their laying ground, where they lay, it is very, very important and is very personal to our families. Well, Congresswoman Mayra Flores has hit the ground running. She has been very active. She was recently at the VA clinic here in the city of Harlingen, and asking those questions. What needs to happen for us to become 4, 5 stars. That is the goal because again, we have to make sure that our veterans receive the proper care and attention. So for Congresswoman Mayra Flores to petition for the city of Brownsville to have its very own veteran cemetery is very telling and is very important. Again, and we might not comprehend the importance of this, but I can guarantee you that if we talk to our families who have loved ones who rest in the veterans cemetery in Mission, they would probably prefer something a little bit closer. Again, they will do everything possible to make that long commute, of course. But if they have the option, hey, wouldn't it be best for them to be here in locally in the city of Brownsville? Mayra Flores has petitioned for our veterans to have a laying grounds, their own personal cemetery here in the city of Brownsville. Also, to all my veterans, she has made it very public. If you need any sort of assistance with any form of government agency, especially our veterans, make sure you contact Mayra Flores, Congresswoman Mayra Flores, and her office, 956-929-4948. And this is something that I'm very proud of. You know, we have a congresswoman that has been at the forefront. You know, she wants to make veterans her priority. We have seen her at the Veterans Clinic. She is working hard to provide them with the resources. Again, these individuals, they need the proper care and attention. And for us to be lacking in that is a slap in the face to them. So it is very important for the veterans and their families to be able to have a laying ground here locally in the city of Brownsville. Mayra Flores is working hard towards that. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Say hello to all the beautiful people in the city of Harlingen, Texas. I hope to see you soon. It's been a while. Not a coffee drinker. Don't let the human being hear you. Well, I don't like hot coffee. I prefer cold coffee. And you know, the human being they know that I'm a big fan, a number one supporter. In case you are on your way to work, you're in the area, Alton Glore, make sure you stop by the human being. Great coffee. If you need your fix to get your day running, human being is the place to go. You should make some Good Morning Brownsville shirts. Hey, man, what's up, Luis? It's been a while, my man. The rock star himself, Luis Flores. Remember when we went to uh, uh, the garage? No, what is that place? Hot Shots. Is it Hot Shots in Harlingen? This guy is a rock star. My my friends and family and community, make sure you reach out to Luis Flores. This guy is the rock star. Uh, I will make a shirt, my man, and I know that you will wear one. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. And stickers, thanks, man. I'll consider it. I appreciate you, man. It's been a while. Hope you and your loved ones are doing fine. Good morning, Coach. Wishing the Los Fresnos Falcons. Not sure if they have a bye week this week or not. Rooting for y'all. I have a meeting with Congresswoman Mayra Flores' office this morning. I shall see how she feels about protecting our children. Good. Let her know that Frankie Olivo on Good Morning Brownsville sends his best wishes. Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. Now, one thing that we have heard ever since the George Floyd case out of Minnesota, and we can go back as far as the Rodney King era in the early 90s. There has been um, this tension between the communities and our local law enforcement. The George Floyd case, it brought about the saying, the term, we need to defund the police. And one thing that you and I can agree is that if we do not have no law, no order, no one to patrol and keep our streets safe, well, that will cause anarchy. That will cause chaos. As we all know, here locally in Cameron County, what we have seen from our local Cameron County sheriff has been that he has been active and very present within our communities. And also the same thing for our Brownsville P. Brownsville police chief. Chief Salceda, he has been very vocal and very active within our community. He has been a part of Big Heroes, a great nonprofit organization with our friend Ms. Gonzalez, who was at the helm, and also at the Good Neighbor Settlement Home close to the Cameron County Courthouse. These individuals, Sheriff Garza and Chief Salceda, have been very active within the community and always find the time to have presence. Why? Because you want your community to have some sort of relationship with your local law enforcement. Again, there is that mistrust that we've had from previous administrations. But what these leaders have done have been that they have extended the hand and said, "Hey, I am here. I am here to help you." And one thing that this defund the police uh, language as of late has brought upon uh, individuals thinking, well, should we fund the police? Is that a good thing for I'll here locally for us to defund the police? Well, that is something that is going on here in the city of Brownsville and in Cameron County. Our sheriff, Eric Garza, just posted yesterday, and he did release a statement, and the statement states that the Cameron County judge and commissioners court have defunded the sheriff's department and the local law enforcement. We asked Judge Eddie Trevino and the commissioners court to unfreeze our positions, but we were repeatedly denied, only to recently find out that these positions that they were eliminated in its entirety. Now, you and I can agree. What would happen if we didn't have the resources available to provide law and order? Whenever I think of defunding the police, not giving them the resources, not giving them the tools needed to perform their duties, well, that is going to bring anarchy. That is going to bring chaos. And one thing that this has affected um, and has brought about serious question marks have been to our very own staff. Now imagine, and I want us to close our eyes and picture the type of inmates that we have at Carrizales. We don't have, we don't have individuals who frequent church and who are God fearing, and no, these are ruthless criminals, ladies and gentlemen, from gangbangers, from murderers, those individuals that steal, that don't have any inklings of thinking about you and your family. These are hard nosed criminals, and if there's an opportunity, they'll steal, they'll rob, they'll fight. Aggravated assaults. Individuals that are involved in organized criminal activity. You're talking about serious offenders that we have housed at Carizales. Now, what happens is that whenever we do not have the staff needed to, let's go with the jailers. Uh, Jailers, what we've been hearing has been that these individuals are forced to work overtime. Now, this is a very delicate and very dangerous job. Even though these individuals are shackled most of the time, there have been incidences where they have lashed out and assaulted these officers. They spit on them, they throw feces at them. This is a very difficult position. And one thing, and I forgot to post it. So you can see it. Many individuals have questioned and have laughed whenever Sheriff Garza um, posts a flyer on hiring. And the position for jailer currently right now is, good morning, love you, hope you have a great day. David Smith, thank you so much for your time, my man. Always a pleasure to see you on here. One thing that we have seen is that these jobs are very, very dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. And these individuals have been assaulted. They have been spit upon. And one thing that many individuals have laughed at me whenever I did share the post from our Sheriff Garza, when the starting pay for a jailer is around 30 some $1,000. And individuals laughed and said, "Really, Frankie? That's a joke." But let's not forget, it is not our sheriff who implements the pay scale. It is the Cameron County Commissioners Court. They are failing our community by not giving our sheriff and his department the resources, the tools, and the adequate pay needed Individuals have told me, Frankie, why am I going to do that? I'd rather go to McDonald's. That's, it's a no-brainer. Again, by defunding the police, by not giving our sheriff the adequate resources and tools, we are putting our staff members, we are putting the defendants housed in Carizales, and even our community at risk. Over 60 to 70 jobs were frozen. And now, according to the sheriff in his press release, they no longer exist. Is the Cameron County Sheriff's Department sabotaging Eric Garza and his quest to protect and serve Cameron County? What would you say if you go to a job and your bosses do not give you the tools, the weaponry, the ammunition, the resources needed to fulfill your duties? Imagine going to war without weapons. Wouldn't you say that we are sitting ducks? That is the situation in which our sheriff, Eric Garza, finds himself in. These individuals on the county commission have taken this personally and have stated, we are going to sabotage your election. And that is something that we need to be worried about, because it's not only affecting the sheriff in particular, it is affecting his employees, it is affecting the inmates at Carrizales, and more importantly, it will affect our community, because if we do not have people patrolling the counties, chaos, anarchy. Think about that. Now, one thing that has been the topic of discussion have been PUB, Tenasca. We were promised and we were advised that the Oversight Committee will be getting a draft on this past Wednesday, 2 days ago, a draft of where exactly the Tenasca money went. Now, you and I can agree that this has been a long time coming. And one thing that we have seen from our local elected officials have been that they are so hell-bound on consultants. Now, you and I can agree, having consultants for any government entity is a good thing. Why? Because we want experts. We want to have an idea of what the experts have to say. And usually consultants, unfortunately, here in the city and county, they're friends of friends of friends. These individuals mainly are lawyers, and they have great networking systems with government entities where they establish these relationships, and they get lucrative gigs by consulting. And here in the city of Brownsville, in Cameron County, consultants have been eating our lunch, and it's not even funny no more. In the city of Brownsville, what we have seen has been that they have spent close to $1 million. Let me take down this. Close to $1 million on consulting fees. And many individuals were angry and were upset because we had a city manager, Noel Bernal. Currently, we have an interim, but Noel Bernal at his highest was making, I want to say, $280,000 or $300,000. But yet we were still spending. The city of Brownsville was still spending $1 million on consultant fees. Now, you and I can agree. Having consultants, yes, we do need consultants. Why? Because we want the expert's opinion. But something has to give. Why are we paying? The city manager was making 300. His assistants were making close to 2. When you add that up, why are we paying these individuals close to $1 million if they themselves are going to turn around and then pay someone else $1 million? It doesn't make sense, does it? Do you see what I'm getting at? Also, Miss Helen Ramirez, who was previously the Gmbtx CEO director, she currently now is the interim city manager for the city of Brownsville. Well, she was real quick to spend close to $500,000 for the spaceport application. Now, again, I'd like to think that individuals will be at the rate we're going, my man. They're scared. I think something's there. Only time will tell, but it is a delay tactic, in my opinion. One thing that you and I can agree: why are we paying these individuals so much money if they're going to turn around and hire consultants? Consultants are eating the lunch of the citizens of Brownsville. We have close to $1 million being spent on a few consultants, and then for the spaceport application, $500,000. How would you feel as a taxpayer Do you think it's okay for us to be dishing out money? Now, also again, one thing that David talks about is Tenasca. Tenasca has been very, very key as of late because we want to know where this money has gone, and we have uh, attorneys, previous attorneys, the mayor, uh, our county judge was the city attorney, was the attorney or involved with Tenasca. Are these consultants having having us, and are they leaving us to dry? Are they eating our lunch? Are they eating our snack? That's how it seems. What Tanasca has brought upon has been many questions, and you and I can agree. Once we heard about this plan from Nebraska, we were skeptical. Like, okay, we're going to build 100. Well, at the time it was a $400 million plan to be able to have the energy here, and many people thought, oh, this is what we need to get away from PUB. But all what we have seen as of late has been that maybe it was all just a sham. Um, we were promised that this was going to benefit the citizens of Brownsville, that we were going to be selling electricity to Nebraska, Oklahoma, and other states to be able to make a buck. This was going to be a win-win situation. Now, do you all remember the bridge to nowhere, where hundreds of millions of dollars uh, were thrown around, and then eventually this bridge never came? Now we are in the talks of it, but are we being played fools with the Tenasca deal? Again, the audit was just recently released, and some information have come about. And a commissioner, this is an old article, but I do want to bring this up very quickly. Commissioner Cesar de Leon, according to the Rio Grande Guardian, the international news service, he did state that one of the things that he wants to ask, and at the time current Brownsville City Commissioner Nurith Galansky, she was the chairwoman of PUB. And Cesar de Leon, former city commissioner, wanted to ask, why did the rates rise 33%, and why has PUB, why do they have $100 million stashed away? He wants to know that. And he thinks that it is her duty, Galansky's duty, to explain to taxpayers why she is doing this. Her motive, and why she is trying to stall progress for this great community. De Leon claimed that the $100 million has been stashed away for a project that she, Galansky, has never been transparent upon, called Tenasca. You and I can agree, ladies and gentlemen, that something doesn't smell right. Something's off here. Now, if we have a former city commissioner who is wanting these answers, well, we should pay attention to what is what are we going to find from that audit. Well, we are starting to see a little bit of what or who is on that audit. According to a post from Erasmo Castro, it is alleged that of those $100+ million, that close to $30 to $35 million was spent on consultants. Here we have candidate for Cameron County Judge Carlos Cascos, who he himself is a CPA. He goes on the record and states that Judge Eddie Trevino and his firm, they billed in 12 months, they billed $350,000, which was an average of $32,000. Now, these are the totals of what the county judge Trevino's firm billed PUB during these times when he was a judge, reportedly working on the Tenasca agreement with other firms in San Antonio. Now, consultants are eating our lunch, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel about a county judge, a former PUB attorney who is making this much money? Now, you and I can agree. Sharks are going to be sharks, but don't you feel ripped off for us to be promised the Taj Mahal, and then you're being taxed, and your interest rates are skyrocketing? 33% is going up. Well, if I'm going to be paying a lot more, I should expect the Taj Mahal, right? That is what we were being promised. How do you feel if I'm a contractor and I code you and I say, hey, I'm going to be taking your money, I'm going to be building your house? You say, okay, Frankie, that's fine. It's going to be better for me and my family. Let's do it. But what if I'm taking and taking and taking and taking money from you, and then you say, "Hey, Frankie, ¿dónde está mi casa? Where's my house, bro?" Oh, mm, well, sorry to say, no more. You're like, what? Well, where's my money? Well, about that, wouldn't you say that this is theft? Again, these are consultants. Now, is this criminal nature? No, but it looks bad. Why? Because 30 to 35 million dollars, 30 to 35 million dollars was taken, was spent on consultants. And what do we have to show for it? A big fat a big fat zero. What bothers me is that an individual running for county judge, and on his sides he says progress to the future, something like that. Who's benefiting from him being as county judge? He gave himself a raise along with other commissioners during the pandemic when nobody was giving raises. And now we find out that he made $350,000 for 11 months working on Tanasca as a consultant. And all we have to show for it is higher rates. It is time for us to question these elected officials because they themselves are the ones that have power over the PUB board, over these individuals who are awarded these large consulting contracts. Consultants are eating your lunch, Brownsville. What do you have to say for it? And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. We need to take part in the electoral process. It is very, very important. With the spike in electricity rates, individuals from all walks of life are starting to ask me, Frankie, what do I need to do? Because this is getting out of hand. I'm paying a second mortgage for my electricity rates. What can I do to be part of the process? And it's good to have people that are wanting to take part and bring about change. It is up to us, only us, to be proactive in this process. Make sure that you and your household are registered to vote. The last day to register to vote is October 11th. Early voting starts October 24th. Election day is November 8th. Make sure you, yourself, and your family are a part of this process. Erasmo Castro for Cameron County, Precinct 2. Carlos Elizondo, Place 1, BISD. And for District 34, Congresswoman Mayra Flores are the individuals that we should elect. Helping veteran families. Our Congresswoman Mayra Flores recently petitioned for the city of Brownsville to have their very own veteran cemetery. And it's very important because the closest one that we have is in Mission. Good morning, Lupita. Hope you and your boy have a great day. God bless. Thank you so much for your time. The closest cemetery that we have for our veterans is in Mission. Now, we do understand, and we feel that our community would not mind taking that drive to and from Mission, but it would be a little bit more beneficial for them and their families to be able to have one here in our very own city. Again, whenever we celebrate anniversaries, birthdays, whenever we are just lonely and want to be with our loved ones, even though it's at their laying grounds, we want to share that moment with them. It would be best for our community to have that opportunity to have our very own veterans cemetery in the city of Brownsville. Mayra Flores is working hard for our veterans locally here at the VA, wanting to bring that star from 1 to a 5. And also, she is working hard for the city of Brownsville to have its very own cemetery, so our friends and families could have the opportunity, uh, to have something closer here in the city. The sheriff department claims that the county commissioners are sabotaging in him performing his duties. On a press release that was issued by our sheriff Eric Garza, he did state that the county has not only frozen the positions allocated to him, which were 60 and 70. Now they just did away with them. Now again, the county finds themselves in a deficit of close to $5 to $6 million. County Judge Eddie Trevino will be going on the record today, so we'll be following to see what he has to say. But defunding the police is very, very scary. That brings upon anarchy. That brings upon chaos. Could you imagine what would happen if something would happen to the community? By defunding the local sheriff's department, our county commissioners are potentially bringing harm to our jailers, our staff, our deputies, our inmates, and more importantly, our community. Because if we do not have the resources to patrol and keep our community safe, crime's going to go up, casualties could happen, death even could happen. And for our feature story, consultants are eating our lunch. At the city of Brownsville, we have seen how these high paying jobs at the city manager position and his assistants are not equipped, don't have the intellect enough to be able to perform these duties. Now, what we agree that consultants are needed, but at what price? The city of Brownsville has been real quick to throw money to consultants. We saw one for close to $1 million, and then with GBIC, $500,000. Are you okay with your tax money being spent so loosely? That's at the city. At the county, what we have seen, according to Judge Carlos Cascos, from the audit, that we are starting to see unravel. Judge Eddie Trevino, County Judge Eddie Trevino, did score $350,000 in 11 months' work. That is close to $30,000 per month. Now, sharks will be sharks, but are we okay with consultants eating our lunch? What we should worry about is that we spent all this money, ladies and gentlemen, and what do we have to show for it? A big fat zero. It is unfortunate that our individuals that hold the highest positions here in municipal government and county government have used their positions to be able to get these cushy jobs. And then you ask, why isn't this individual more vocal about what is going on with PUB and Tenasca? Well, now we know why, because he has his hands all over it. What will you say come this November? Are you going to allow individuals such as Eddie Trevino to continue to bleed us, to suck us dry? Consultants are eating your lunch, Brownsville. What are you going to do about it? Thank you so much for your time and your attention. It is Friday, 7:58 a.m., September 23rd. I appreciate you. And once again, I am reporting live from the beautiful city of Houston, Texas. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. But as always, the circus will always go on, no matter if a few monkeys are missing. No para el circo, por unos changos. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Hope you all have a great weekend. Hope to see you here on Wednesday. God bless.